Um, okay, so it says I'm live streaming, and it's loading the it's loading the comment section. I have never done this successfully on my own before, you guys. So, not sure how this is going to go. Usually it's my co-host who does the streaming because he has the more powerful computer. But right now he is convalescing. He is in recovery from his spinal surgery. So please leave your messages of get well soon and whatnot in the comment section of whichever platform you are watching this on. Not used to running this on my own, obviously. It was never meant to be a one-woman show. But we're going to do our best, and I'm going to try not to turn this into an echo chamber. Let's see. This is Pagan Viewpoint. This is the show where myself and usually my co-host, Caleb, talk about life, health, and nature, the things that are important to us. It's called Pagan Viewpoint because, for the most part, I am expressing a viewpoint of someone who was raised pagan. And I think that that's rather novel in today's world. You don't see that very often, so we're kind of going with it. Now, in the subject of life that we have been dealing with lately, obviously, we talk about politics on this show an awful lot, but I'd like to keep it a bit upbeat. And so instead of talking about just the inauguration, the changeover in power, any of the cabinet position posts or anything else like that, no, we're going to be talking about Bernie memes because I wish I had some screenshots I could show you guys, but it's glorious. It is beautiful. I keep seeing Bernie memes, Bernie Sanders and his mittens. And it's just the cutest thing, you guys. Now, I know that a lot of people in the right wing, they will sit there and they'll come up with literally any reason why any of our guys has done something wrong. But I think that it was meme worthy. I think that it was gorgeous. I think that it was probably funnier than any Biden memes we would have come up with this time around. Like, I also want to put out there to all of my meme makers, where are the Biden memes? Like, where did they go? I was kind of expecting some Biden memes. I've yet to see them. That's okay. That's okay. I'm sure they're out there. I will go and find them. But isn't it just so telling about this day and age that we end up in one of the biggest events to happen in a good long while, and we take something as in they're getting mac and cheese, y'all. They're getting mac and cheese. What can I say? Life is a mother, but I'm sorry for did you take it up my ass? I'm gonna put a sign outside this door that says recording stay out. Not cool, kid. Sorry. Anyway, I just think it's so telling about today's culture that and such a big event. You know, the inauguration of the first female vice president, the first vice president of color, and all of these different things. And what are we going to be focusing on but Bernie Sanders and his mittens? Like, he's just too adorable. Old people can be really adorable, but he's just a different level of old people adorable, can I just say. So that has made my week. That has most definitely, I think, made my month. Keep it up, you guys, because if we can't laugh at ourselves, then what are we even doing? Now, moving on to touch on the subject of health. This is one of the things that I want to segue into because physical health and mental health are really equal things. And as much as it is important to focus on all of these important things that are happening, it's important to keep track of things. It's important to do all of the things that we have to do to keep this meat mech functioning. We also have to make sure to give ourselves the time that is necessary in order to recover. And that does mean making little jokes about things that are supposed to be serious. It does mean indulging the ridiculous. So allow yourself to be a little bit silly, allow yourself to be ridiculous, and allow that to be that pressure valve that sort of lets go, because we've got a lot of work to do, an awful lot of work to do. We've got the presidency, we've got the House, we've got the Senate. That has happened in several other presidencies. So we do have to get to work. But in order to be able to do so and keep our balance and keep ourselves in a place of reasonability, we really do have to take some time for ourselves. We have to take time to laugh. We have to take time to live. We have to take time to go out and be in nature, because that also is a mixy matchy thing for your health. We were born on this planet. All of our ancestors were born on this planet. Everyone we have ever known or heard about that's led up to us was born on this planet and experienced the nature on this planet. We are so intricately connected that if we don't acknowledge that, if we distance ourselves from our connection to the earth, then it always does take a toll on our health. But the positive thing to that is that whenever our health is having, a hard time, whenever we're dealing with a lot of difficulties, returning in some way to nature can help to support you and boost you up as you're recovering. Now, I'm not going to say going camping is a fix-all. But when your own mental state gets out of the way of the facilities and the faculties that your body is naturally born with, things just get done a bit faster. So to anyone who's saying it's like we need to take this really seriously, we need to not be making jokes right now, and we need to be focusing, I agree that we need to be focusing. I agree that we have a lot of work to do. I agree that we do need to be paying very close attention to these things, but I just believe that if we get so overwhelmed by the responsibilities and goals and the things that we have to do, well, we're missing the journey for the sake of the destination. And that's not healthy. It's really not a good idea to sacrifice one for the sake of the other, because at the end of the day, we're going to get to where we need to go. And, the question at the end of that journey isn't going to be first, where do we go next? It's going to be, all right, so what did we learn? And if you're not paying attention because you're too focused on the goal and you can't bring yourself back a little bit with some humor and some fun and get yourself back here in the now, that's going to be really difficult to answer. The last thing I would want is for someone to have to go back and relearn a lesson that is no doubt harsh to begin with. And so that moves on into nature. And this is my subject. This is the one that I don't know if you've noticed in the past episodes. This is the one that I'm really passionate about, because Mother Earth needs us, you guys. We have taken from her to boost up ourselves. Well, now it's time to fulfill our responsibilities to this planet, to see it healthy, Now, seeing it the same as it was when we were born, taking it backwards, that's not something we're going to be able to do fully, at least not for a long time. The reason why is because even if we did manage to get the climate back to where it was, there are a lot of the species that maintained that no longer exist anymore. So we're going to have to find a new balance, in my opinion, and a new equilibrium. And that requires acknowledging the fact that we, as humans, have an effect on the environment around us, that our habitat is affected by our presence. And since our habitat is worldwide, the world is then affected by our presence, and we can't ignore that. So I get this question a lot where it's like, how do I show respect for the gods and for nature and for all of these things? How do I make myself known to them to get their attention, if only to say thank you? Now, I get this question an awful lot from converts, from people who are coming from, a more stereotypical Abrahamic style religion, not necessarily that one specifically. But just much more structured, and they're looking for that structure outward. And so to that, I would say, because I've gotten this question a few times this last week, go clean up some garbage, clear out a waterway, spread some seeds, do something that is going to boost the ecosystem where you are. Do something that's going to create something instead of destroy it. It really is just that simple. I mean, the bar is on the floor, you guys. We have systematically annihilated hundreds of species. So, at this point, it's not just a matter of being better, you know. In order to clear the bar, all you really have to do is stop causing the damage. And if you don't feel like you can take on this whole battle alone, I get it and I understand. But if you're not going to stand in the shield wall with me, all I have to say is please take a step into the back. Go back to the safety and get out of our way. And I know that seems a little bit harsh considering I was trying to keep all of this upbeat, but that's something that is serious enough that I'm not sure that we can joke about it. We've just re-entered the Paris Climate Accord. But the facts are, in this country, you guys, our leaders don't listen to us. And whenever they try and fix something, it's usually just lip service. So when I say we have work to do, I don't just mean in political climate. I mean, what are we fighting for? We need to start moving towards that. Everything we've ever known exists on this tiny blue dot. I think it's about time that we start taking that to be as important as it actually is. And so that's my message for this first time running solo. Find the humor where you can. It's good for your health. Take a break if you have to. Make sure you get yourself into balance, but don't forget our goals. Because from the pagan viewpoint, humanity has taken too much from this world. It's time we start giving back. It's time we start cleaning up our mess. In my opinion, it is not enough to just step aside and not cause damage anymore. There are a lot of people who would tend to disagree. And when it comes to, at least honoring the gods, yeah, that's really all you have to do at this point for them to feel your gratitude and not be angry at you. But is it really enough? For everything that we've been given, is that enough? And that's something that each of us has to come to individually. I can't tell you if that's enough. I can't tell anyone if what you're giving is enough. That has to come by your standard. This is just mine. Now, I know that this is a different type of show from most of the ones that we've been doing so far and what we've been trying to do. Again, this was never meant to be a one-woman show. I'm used to having someone to bounce off of. But I just would like to reiterate a few things that I know for a fact my co-host and I will always agree on. Love is love is love is love is love. So long as everyone involved are consenting adults, it is none of my business. You could be a pink and purple polka dotted elephant and tell me your name is Irene, and I will not correct you. You could tell me that you're a llama, and I will not correct you because it is not my job to tell you who or what you are. I believe that he and I can agree on that. As far as I'm concerned, people are people are people. Everyone deserves human rights. Black lives matter, and Asian lives matter, and mixed muttling lives matter. All of the lives do matter, and I just wish that we could act like that more often. Black lives matter, and you should say the name of the people who have been victimized in this behind the scenes fight for equality we are still fighting. I think that we're all brothers and sisters here on this planet. We're not supposed to be hurting each other. We're supposed to be helping each other, because I believe at the end of the day, there is one thing that has been proven throughout history over and over again, is even if it takes way too long, at the end of the day, love wins. It's not my job to tell you if you're worthy. It's not my job to decide that what you've done in your life is good enough or not. That's for you to decide. And whatever the answer is, I'm still going to be here. I'll still be going on along my path. I'm not going anywhere. Because your worth lies so far beyond the definitions you accept for yourself that it's not even funny. You matter. So take care of yourself. Find the funny. And if you're ever feeling ungrounded, go stand outside barefoot. It can be that simple. I don't know what you're going through, but I'd like to think that whoever's watching this has been pulled to do so for a reason. And so I'm going to give my regular sign off in the absence of my co-host. I hope that this has actually recorded properly. Again, I'm not used to doing this on my own, so please bear with me. We're going to try and get down some form of routine. But until we speak again, I would just like to remind everyone who's watching that you do not need to dim anybody else's shine in order to brighten your own. So much love, my people, and shine